Welcome back. Now, you all remember this video. I know y'all remember this video. This is a classic video, if you ask me. And I believe there's a lot to learn in this film. And there's a lot that I overlooked. And I think there's a lot that a lot of people overlook. Now I'm speaking extra loud because people, I'm sorry, it's burning hot here in Ohio. I cannot turn this air conditioner off. No way. This will be a 3-minute live stream if I do. One thing that took me a while to notice is how stiff the dog's body was throughout the whole interaction. There's none of that tail wagging. The dog is moving slowly. Its posture is very, very stiff. And look at how it's invading his personal space. It's trying to be dominant. It's trying to dominate, if you ask me. When dogs behave like this, when they invade your personal space, they push up against you like this, I think they're trying to be dominant. They're not being affectionate at all. Dogs have weird functioning brains. All you have to do is watch their behavior in dog packs. Look at it, how it just rammed its head between this man's legs to the point where the man is confused about what to do. See how he touches the dog's back right here? See how strange that is? He's really trying to get the dog to back up off him a little bit. I think he can tell that the dog is trying to dominate him. And he's trying to dominate the dog with love. Trying to control the dog with physical affection. Something that the dog is not receptive to at all. At all. So it turns away from this guy. It's ignoring all these rubs, like they always do. And then the dog invades the space of another man. Now, these two are the owners, if I'm not mistaken. I know this lady is definitely an owner. And I believe this dog has bitten people before, as many people in the comment section pointed out. And you can see how she's watching this dog. And you're going to see her freeze up in a minute as this dog is behaving like this, in this dominant fashion. She knows that this dog is trying to display dominance around people that the dog does not live with. The dog does not live with these three people right here. These are the guests. These are the friends who are also nutters. But you see the dog constantly trying to invade. See how the dog cut this man off? The dog clearly saw that this man was walking up, that he was approaching, and it actively cut that man off. This is why I would never be a dog lover, because I'm telling you, it would not be cutting me off. It will get cut off. But they sit there and they tolerate this dog trying to dominate them. And it's not getting any food from anybody. Now it walks up to her and gets in her face. All the while with this stiff, rigid posture. A posture they take on when they are ready to snap. Now look at the owner. This lady. She is about to freeze up here in a minute because she can see this attack coming by how this dog is behaving. The owner takes a drink and watch her freeze right there. She doesn't budge. She sees what's happening. That's not normal behavior on her part. She sees it coming. Boom. You could tell that the owner saw that coming. She's seen that dog try to dominate people like that before. That is what this was. This mutt walking around trying to dominate people. See, this is why it pays. It pays to hate dogs. I laugh at you nutters. And I know it burns a lot of you up that we over on this section of YouTube, you cannot guilt shame us about hating dogs at all. Do you know how much it pays? See, when you hate dogs, you can see this type of behavior. It's crystal clear. We would never put ourselves in a position like this. We're not even going to be around these retarded mutants. She's up here rubbing on it. She puts her face in the dog's face. It bites her face. Now, what I want to take a look at is the comments by fellow nutters. Look at this. Putting your face that close to strange dogs, to a dog's face, is asking for trouble. No. Being around dogs is asking for trouble. Being a nutter is that, and that is a pattern throughout the comment section, where these nutters agree with being in the presence of these dogs and even rubbing on them. Just don't put your face in the dog's face. Are you crazy? So it won't bite my face, but it'll bite my arm or my leg. And we should be willing to accept that, right? Look, never lean into a dog's face, especially one you don't know. Look at this. Nobody will ever say to simply don't be around them at all. They'll never say that. And that's the most logical response. Look at this. Never put your face close to an unfamiliar dog like that. See, they agree with being around the dog. Love how nobody disciplines or removes the dog, okay? That's after the dog bit her face. Nobody grabbed the dog at all. They just start running in circles. She points out how the dog's tail wasn't wagging, okay? But the tail wagging don't mean nothing. They'll attack with their tail wagging. You know, that's irrelevant. But when they are stiff like that, that's almost a guarantee that they are gearing up to launch an attack when they behave like that. Here's one person who said, look, that dog has bitten people before. Did you see how fast they got out of there with the dog? Look, the problem is the owners allowing the dog to roam around those people. And B, the woman is putting her face so close to the dog. Roam around those people. So this person pointed out that the dog roaming around like that was part of the problem. Why and how could it be a part of the problem? Because it was the dog's display of dominance. This is why I hate these things. Why would you love a creature that's always obsessed with being dominant and attacking people? You're goofballs. I don't care how many moments of peace and nonviolence that you have around these things. The moments that they do attack, that they have attacked, are enough, more than enough, to hate them all and to not trust any of them. Here's another one. Never put your dog's face that close to the dog. Okay. Okay. What? This annoyed me. Why is no one grabbing the dog? Okay. Notice how the dog's owner got out of there quickly. Even without sound, the incident felt tense. Stop kissing the dog. That's a good idea. Dog may pretend to be your friend, but a cat will never pretend. Okay. That was weird. Everything about how they all reacted. This is why you don't get too affectionate with a strange dog. I don't care if it's strange or not. You don't get affectionate with none of them. I don't believe that dogs were ever meant to be petted, to be rubbed on, ever. And back in the day, they really were not. I believe that behavior, that nasty rubbing on them, that came from zoophiles. That came from that nasty community. Behind closed doors, rubbing on that thing as if it's their husband or wife. Look at a guy with his okay. Victim of a dog attack. What gets me is the rough way the dog owner rips back the victim's head to have a look, okay? Having been a dog lover owner all my life, this dog's body language was off from the beginning. Erect ears, no tail wagging. Never pet a dog, if the tail, whatever. And as a responsible dog owner, you would stay okay, whatever. She put her face in his face. Big mistake. I own a dog, blah, 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 blah. No. Blame the owner. She's about to get bit in the face. People who don't know about dogs should not be petting them. What difference would that make? You think just because you know about dogs, you should be petting it? The more you know about them, the more you should not be petting them. What kind of sense does that make? See how they try to act like knowing dogs opens the door for you to be around them more? No, it's the exact opposite. Look at this. I would never put my face directly in front of a random dog. You see, you hear what these people are saying? They're saying that the idea of simply not having dogs around is out of the question. They will never even entertain that thought. The dog was all hunky-dory for the initial touches. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Lady grabbed her. Those two men didn't even flinch. Like how the dog... Oh, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. This is what I was looking for. I always tell my children, never put your face near a dog that you don't know. In other words, make sure you know the dog first and then constantly put your face in the dog face. Now, with all these comments in mind and with that video in mind, reflect on what these youngsters do when they bring these therapy dogs into these schools. Isn't that what they do constantly? They constantly put their face right up to the dog's face. They are literally taught to put their face up to a dog's face in these schools. You know how insane that is? Do y'all understand how crazy that is? Basically, now, these are drugged up dogs. They're sedating these dogs, bringing them into these schools and teaching the youngsters to put their face up to the dog's face. I showed one video where multiple students were doing that repeatedly, doing the exact same thing that this lady was doing. So what you saw in that video that resulted in her getting attacked is exactly what they're teaching youngsters in school to do. They're teaching them that when they see dogs out in the real world, to do the same thing that they're doing with this therapy dog. Jump all over it, rub all over it, stick your hand in your face in the dog's face. They're teaching them to do everything that they should not be doing. Look at this. Again, he said, I always tell my children, never put your face near a dog that you don't know. Look at this. Better to have an animal grab your arm than your face. No, nutter. No, nutter. Better to have the dog absent. Better to not have the dog there at all. Because I don't want my arm grabbed or mauled either, stupid nutter. These people, these nutters, these dog people, they expect the entire world to view dog attacks as something that we all must accept. The thought of not having dogs around at all is inconceivable to these people. Y'all have a mental illness. Your brains don't work like they should. And I'm not listening to a thing y'all got to say. They invite you into their home with this type of nonsense in mind, that it's better to have it grab your arm than your face. No, it's not. What are you talking about? Neither is better than the other. Both are options that I don't want to choose from. But see, in a situation like that, no dogs would be around at all. And that's the exact type of environment I want, Nutter. My father's dog tried to lash out and bite my son when he went to give my father a hug. People treat their dogs as though they are 5-year-old children. My dog would never hurt anyone. Yeah, right, Nutter. You don't know who your dog would or would not hurt. This is the arrogance in these nutters that I'm talking about. And what I'm outlining here is the savage nature of people. The savage nature of people. Right now, a massive portion of the population is extremely degenerate. That's just not extremely degenerate. That's just how it is. That's just what it is. And when I reflect on dogs being used as tools of oppression, for example, Sheepy talked about this in a video that I had planned on talking about but forgot about. When I reflect on things like that, I don't know about anybody else. When I reflect on how dogs were used, remember, they were used during slavery and during the civil rights movement. Heavy. During slavery, it was those Cuban bloodhounds. If I'm not mistaken, Cuban shepherds or Cuban bloodhounds that they would use. And as a tool of abuse and terrorism, mind you. The same took place during the civil rights movement. And remember, they used those dogs, released those dogs on peaceful protesters, used as a form of terrorism. When I reflect on that, on all of that, you have the situation over there in Israel, where the Israelis are literally ordering dogs from European countries, like these attack dogs, these trained attack dogs, ordering these dogs as if the same way you would order a shipment of Roscoe's. And the military is ordering these dogs, and then they turn around and use them on the Palestinians. From what I hear in the reports that I've read, they even use them on the youngsters in many cases. And when they use them on people in general, it's just as a form of terrorism, as torture. When I reflect on that, on any country or people who use, and they use dogs for that same purpose here in the United States right now. And I'm talking about the random everyday owner. When I reflect on people like that, when I reflect on situations like that, what stands out to me most is that it serves as proof that these are not pets. There is no way that that police forces and actual militaries would be that invested and use dogs as weapons that thoroughly if they were not weapons, or if they should not be used and seen as weapons, no matter what. See, this country is backwards. It thrives on lies and deception. They want to be able to ignore how dogs are weapons and historically have been used as weapons, and they're so brainless that you have to look at them as weapons. You have to. I've been sitting here watching. How many of y'all seen this? This actually was released 4 weeks ago. If I'm not mistaken, out of Utah. Shout out to Cruello. Listen to this.
Bodycam footage after officers responded to a trespassing call early this morning that resulted in a dog being shot and killed by police. Now, we want to warn you and express that this video is graphic and may be distressing to watch.
Hey, stop!
Officers first encountered the dog at 3:23 Sunday morning, responding to a trespass call near the 7-Eleven on South Redwood and West North Temple. Just seconds later, the dog appears to lunge, and that's when police say the officer was bitten.
Now, this is not a military dog. This is not even a military dog. These are one of the dogs that are pets. These are the dogs that are expected to be friendly, that are not supposed to attack unless they are provoked.
Officer issuing this warning.
I'm gonna shoot it! Get out of here or it's dead!
The dog is seen being taken by the owner and given to another person on a leash. Roughly a minute later, another responding officer arrives on scene, another command given.
Do not let that dog go.
That's when the dog breaks free of its collar, heads toward the...
Now, it almost looked like that lady let that dog go on purpose. But do y'all think this lady abuses that dog? You think this dog is aggressive because she's abusing it, like what these so-called experts try to tell us? No.
That's when the dog breaks free of its collar, heads toward the officer. More warnings.
Shoot your dog! I will your dog! I will shoot your dog!
The handler struggling to get the dog under control as it turns away from...
Look at how worthless the owner is. She has no control over that dog at all. No control whatsoever. And look at how aggressive it is.
Shoot your dog!
The handler struggling to get the dog under control as it turns away from the warning op.
Look at that. Look at that lady. Look at her posture. That goofy lady has her hands up, straight up in the air right now. You see that? She's not even trying no more. She sees that cop and she knows that she can't control that dog and throws her hands up.
A warning officer coming from the other side. That first officer that was bitten arrives. Dog now facing them, but not quite seen lunging, but barking. That officer yells.
Move, Matt! Move, Matt! Move!
And fires.
Now you see how he told her to move. That cop saw that that dog was on a rampage. Completely out of control. In one of these dog zones. Where they're just attacking random people. That's a weapon. And what these people do is tame the weapon. These militaries and police departments. They see behavior like this and they see right away that's a weapon. And they figured out that they can tame and control it using food because they're obsessed with food.
The owner seen pushed away to the ground and detained.
Idiot. Worthless owner. And they just keep selling dogs to these people as if this hasn't proven to be a problem, a public danger, a public threat. These are weapons. They're not pets.
From multiple angles, you can see the handler standing close to the dog as shots were fired. The dog critically injured and later put down by Salt Lake County Animal Services. Police say the owner was able to have a private moment with the dog and given information to get its remains. SLC Police Chief Brian Redd releasing a statement saying, "This is a difficult situation for everyone involved. I understand how people deeply care for their animals, and I recognize the pain this dog's owner and those who knew this dog are experiencing. At the same time, our officers were faced with a dangerous and rapidly evolving situation. The officers were..."
Hey, listen, I don't care how much you care for a killer. Your emotions towards brainless, inbred mutant killers falls on deaf ears over here. Why should I consider you are insane for being in love with something like that? Nobody want to hear about your love for that mutt.
Forced to make a difficult split-second decision to protect themselves. None of our officers ever want to be placed in these type of situations, but our priority will always be the safety of our officers and community.
Exactly. I hate the way they actually make rational statements in the midst of their insanity. But I can relate to this. I shot my neighbor's dog, but I don't want to be and didn't want to be even put in that situation. I don't want to even be put in that situation. And the only way that can happen is if you don't own the things at all. I purposely left that stream up and held off from additional streams because of, the magnitude of that story. And like I said, these videos, they get stressful. Because this is a real world problem that's taking people's lives, ruining people's lives. All right, that alone makes it difficult. It's not like a relationship channel. But on top of that, you got, youngsters, newborns, suffering the same fate. And these nutters, society in general, continues to praise these things as angels on earth. You can't compare this to no other corner of YouTube, no other type of platform on YouTube. And I wanted people to soak in the seriousness of that recent story, because these nutters are inside these apartment complexes everywhere with these dogs, endangering their neighbors. How many of y'all read about this story? I haven't even shared this story yet, but it surfaced 6 days ago. I know some of you have already watched this.
Developing tonight, chaos erupting inside an apartment building in northwest Miami-Dade.
A man opens fire on his neighbor's dog, claiming he had no other option. He says his pet was attacked by a pit bull. Local 10's Rosh Lowe is live at the scene with what he's learned. Rosh?
What a day inside of this building, and you're going to hear it all on video. You can hear the shrieks and the screams from residents who were very concerned when they saw this dog shot dead. But the man who says he shot the dog said, "Look, I had no choice."
So, sir, you felt like you had no choice but to shoot the dog, right?
No choice.
Why?
I tried like for 10 minutes to take the pit bull off my dog, and he wouldn't let him go. So I had no choice. I'm sorry.
You had no choice.
Yes. I'm sorry. Tell the owner I'm sorry.
Now he's up. You hear him saying, I'm sorry, because he's a dog lover. He's a nutter himself. So he understands, this line of questioning. And listen to the journalist. Oh, so you had no choice but to shoot it, huh? Oh, so you had no choice. Just asked him. I think he asked him the same thing twice.
Let him go. So I had no choice. I'm sorry.
You had no choice.
Yes.
Yeah. So you had no choice, huh? Listen to the pressure they put on you. Even if you delete one of these things in accordance with the laws, their plan is to still try to guilt shame you.
I'm sorry. Tell the owner I'm sorry.
On this video, you can hear the shock inside this apartment complex.
This is an apartment complex. Shots fired in an apartment complex. Now, I don't want to have to do that. I don't want a bullet going through no doors or no floors and hitting nobody else, and I'm caught up in a whole bunch of legal trouble.
5-1.
Or I don't want to live with you know, damaging or ruining nobody else's life or my own. And this is the situation, the type of situation these nutters put us in. Y'all just ruin communities. You ruin neighborhoods. The fact that you're okay with that, man, that speaks volume. That proves what I'm saying is true. Zero morals.
85 Northwest 29th Avenue. This video given to us by a woman who says she lives here.
The other man dog came outside as he was going to his house with his McDonald's, and he attacked my dog.
According to the sheriff's office, this happened around 11:30.
Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade County, remember, for a long time, they bragging about how they removed pit bull bans. Yeah, bragging about it.
30. Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office deputies responded to the area regarding a dog that was shot. They say the preliminary investigation shows that an adult male saw his neighbor's dog attacking his dog. They say the adult male then shot at his neighbor's dog, striking it.
My husband shot him. He tried to beat him with a chair. Even the owner's son, he tried to help him separate the dogs apart.
In the meantime, you can see it here, detectives descend on the scene trying to get to the bottom of what happened. But you can...
Yeah, whatever. You know, I'm not moved by this because this was a dog-on-dog attack. But in many cases, the person, the victim, is a person. And these people know this. So, overall, the culture is so degenerate that it's not in people to not own these things. No matter how, you know, good of a person they try to present themselves to be, they're not good enough to remove or refuse to own dogs for the safety of their family and neighbors. But make no mistake, these things are not pets. On my most recent live stream, I talked about a grown woman unalived by her dog. As soon as that dog clamped down on her, she said to her friend, "Oh my God, call 911. He has my arm." You better not in no way try to argue that that is a pet. I don't know what you have in your house, but that is not only that. After the friend went to get help, she got help from a man, a big, burly, dusty, grown man. You know what he said? "I'm scared. I don't want to get mutilated too. I'm not going in there. She just gonna have to get mauled." Do y'all know, like I said before, I would have done the exact same thing. You put yourself in that situation. There's no way around that. I'm not going to pay the price when you putting yourself in that situation. I read another comment earlier today from a dog lover who said that she was attacked by a dog. And that the most terrifying thing about being attacked by a dog is when there are people who are not helping. Because they always stand around and watch. We didn't see many attacks where the people witnessing the attack, they're just standing there watching. Yeah, that's a natural instinct for many people, and it's justified. You put yourself, and especially if you're inside your apartment getting mauled. I mean, I might have to take a walk You know, just so I don't have to hear you be unalived by your dog and be traumatized by it, I might just have to dip off for a few minutes. Because I ain't going in there. Many of these people have multiple dogs inside their home. Is that how y'all want to go out? It's happening more now than it ever has. These are not pets. They're weapons. Weapons that can go off on you at any moment. Do you think it's smart to own these? I don't see. So many of you are obsessed with how they make you look online. They instantly make you look like you are a part of the dog club. And people nowadays just want to be a part of something and feel special. I get it. Feel special in some other way. Simple, in a non-lethal way. In a way where you won't lose your whole face or your life. Which is essentially one and the same. I haven't visited Jacqueline Duran recently. How is she looking? I can guarantee you she is not looking like she did before she was attacked. These things are not pets. Now we got sick people in society, and some are so sick that they want to see their dogs attack someone. And I'm sure many of you are aware of this. When these people, especially these owners of these vicious dogs, when they go outside to walk their dog, that's almost the only thing on their mind. What's on their mind is, look at me and my killer. Look at how much power and authority I have. Aren't you scared? Oh, you better be careful trying to do anything to me. Yeah, look at you. Aren't you afraid? They can't wait to have a reason to release these things on a human being. We have these same people that's in these same Israelis. These Israelis who using these dogs on the Palestinians. We have these same people that was here in the United States using dogs against black Americans. They're still here today. The same lunatics who get off on owning these things. See, in many ways, they are more dangerous than those who use dogs on like civilians, which is horrible within itself. With these nutters, with the picket fence nutters, they are more likely to endanger youngsters. Youngsters. Yeah, you cooped up inside your little home, but you're in there with a whole bunch of toddlers and young people. And because of that, that demographic is the most attacked. They're attacked over 50% of the time. They make up over 50% of all dog attacks. And most are not even reported. They're not even taken to the hospital. You know how many of these nutters have dogs that attack their child and they don't even go to the hospital? They don't want it to be euthanized. They don't want it to be documented. They're more likely to not go to the hospital if it's a youngster who's bitten. That means that those are the attacks that are least reported. This is the same sick society. All the more reason these things should be removed from society. The everyday person, the military, the police department shouldn't have access to weapons with a mind of their own that will go off on anyone at any time. Several of these officers, so-called trainers of these dogs, have been attacked themselves and have been forced to put these mutants down. That's just what it is. And with that in mind, you can understand how dogs are a way for humans to exercise their own inner evils. You know, they provide these evil people with a way to, you know, carry out their sick thoughts. Remember, these things mutilate people in ways that normal devices really don't. The bite down, hold and shake method, that is a highly, highly destructive. And I heard a cop try to say that the injury itself is no different. If there's a puncture, an incision that lasts 1 second, he said that's no different from a dog that'll clamp down, hold, and shake for 10 seconds. Like, are you out of your mind? They cause way more damage when they hold and shake. That's why they do it. You see them when they get smaller organisms, they thrash them around like little rag dolls. Yeah, of course it causes more damage. Shout out to What's Good ATG in the super chat. Speaking of super chat, listen, I'm sorry, I gotta apologize about the ads. The ads are going to be ridiculous, people. I'm sorry. They're ridiculous right now with all other channels, the people I'm subscribed to. The ads drive me crazy. And here recently, I've been taking them out of my videos. I'm like, man, because they torture me. And I don't want them to torture y'all. You know? So I'm like, look, man, I'm just start taking them out. But look, man, I have to start inserting them, and I have to get aggressive with it. Because listen, man, and most of the time, I don't even earn enough from YouTube to pay my internet bill. I was looking at it today. Look at my revenue going down. 260 in June. This is per month now. Just get a $200 check. And then, what is it? No, in May. And then June, 230, 217 July. And this month is projected to be 211. I don't make no money. That's internet money right there. That's my internet bill. And probably a couple gallons of gas. On the real. Okay? And look at this. Look at this. Where is that? How you, right here. You see this? How you make money. I make most of my revenue from memberships. Which has pretty much been the same for a long time. My memberships don't go up that fast. And I don't even think, y'all, here's the main thing. You see this where it says watch page ads? Now, I guess this is from people who watch the commercials. So this revenue more so comes from YouTube. It don't come from you all. Where it says watch, because I know y'all don't click on them. Y'all just watch the ad and then that's the end of it. Well, apparently, I think that amounts as revenue for the channel. So I gotta put them in there and be aggressive now. Because, hey man, I might have a good little job or whatever, but I'm still struggling, just like everybody else. So I just felt like I owed it to y'all to explain to y'all why y'all getting hit with a with a bunch of commercials. I'm sorry. I'm not balling like that. Anyway, shout out to all of you who were able to join me for this live stream, this late night tap in. Be sure to check out the other content creators. They really make a lot of good stuff. I was checking out some of their channels earlier. Okay, and I learn a lot from listening to other people's channels. and they know a lot of things and have a lot of perspectives. It'll give everybody a better understanding of this insane, sick culture. Dog culture is despicable, man. It's despicable. And it's just another way to bring division between people. Isn't that a hot topic nowadays? When I hear many of these people argue about the small hats, how their big conspiracy is to divide humans. Dog culture divides humans, and they are extremely good at doing it. So if removing divisions from people is part of your agenda, you should be all for becoming anti-dog. Shout out to all of you able to join me for this live stream, and I hope you can join me on the next as we continue with this crusade.